This is a demonstration of the SQL Server to Snowflake replication pipeline. My environment includes this Snowflake instance that I'm replicating to, this Linux environment where I'm running the replicant process, and then this Windows system that I'm replicating from, and it's this TPCC database. The replicant process is a command line tool that's driven by a set of YAML configuration files. They specify how we connect to the source, how we connect to the destination, Snowflake in this case, how we extract and apply the data, number of threads, transaction sizes, things like that. Where we store the metadata, I'm storing it in Postgres in this case, it can be anywhere. And then you specify the command, and in this case we're running full, which is snapshot followed by real time. You could just specify snapshot or real time. I'm going to go ahead and run it now. When the replicant process launches, it connects up to the source and the destination. And then on the command line, we had specified a filter configuration file that specifies which tables we're interested in on the source. In a minute, it'll update the screen with all the tables. Since we're extracting a large number of tables, I'm going to go ahead and change the resolution so that we can see a little better, get an overview of things. And now you can see replicant actively pulling the data and applying it. The progress that you're seeing is once the data is applied, and you can see it's doing things in parallel, and the applier and the extractor configuration that I pointed out earlier, you can tweak those to your environment. So if you have a system with a large number of CPUs, you can up the number of threads and really have an impact on performance. Replicant also gives you control over what to do with the schema on the destination. If it already exists, you can replace it, you can truncate the data that's there, you can append to the data. In this case, the schema didn't exist on the destination, so it created the schema on Snowflake and now is replicating the data out. Once the snapshot phase of replication is finished, it'll transition over to real-time replication, where it captures the changes actively on the source and pushes them out to the destination. And now I'm just going to let this snapshot phase run to completion. Now that replicant has switched over to real-time replication, it shows a view of latencies and the counts for the different types of DML that it's replicating. Now before we run any transactions against the source database, let's just do a quick sanity check on one of the tables, do a count on the orders table, and got a count on SQL Server. Check that against Snowflake, run the exact same query, and we got the same count. So now we can run an insert or a couple of inserts and just watch those individual transactions go out. First we'll run a select to show that that data is not actually there yet, no rows returned. And now go to the SQL Server database and run those inserts. And then the replicant process will grab those changes, replicate them out to Snowflake, and then we can verify that that data actually got there by running that select. And we'll see that that data did get out there. now we can see how replicant does under a load. I'll switch over to the SQL Server database, and I've got a tool, HammerDB, that will let me run a TPCC load, run one virtual user, and you'll see the replicant process will come alive and start replicating those out, and mostly it's inserts, so you'll see the insert counts start to go up. The latency information will be updated. And I'd like to point out that replicant is receiving these transactions through a set of files on a shared mount. And if the replicant process is killed, those files will keep accumulating. So show the file contents of that directory, and then you can resume the replicant at any time, and it'll pick up right where it left off. So just adding resume as an option to the command line, and it will pick right back up where it left off. And that concludes the demonstration of SQL Server to Snowflake replication. Thank you for watching.